they'll lynch you. But he did, and he laughs at me.
You are a different cat. You're a different cat of fish.
Hi everybody, Russ on the West Ham Network. Hope you are all safe and well. Happy Friday. Congratulations. We've done another week. And we've only got one more game to go. I think for a few teams, I think the World Cup break is very much needed, and for a few fan bases as well. I think ours is one of them, and maybe someone we're going to have a chat with in a minute. His fan base as well. As I said, if you're new, Andy, give it a like, give it a comment, give it a share, give it a subscribe. Loads of stuff coming up as always, as per usual. We'll have what we got. Irish Tommy 10 o'clock tonight. He'll be on talking about all things Irish Tommy likes to talk about. Maybe David Moyes, potentially. Hence by the thumbnail. You never know. We'll also have Holly doing a tweet all about it as well. That'll be good. So looking forward to that. Make sure you watch that. We'll also have myself doing Matchday Morning from outside the ground tomorrow. Bright and early if I get my ass out of bed. And also he put up my little vlog and a little bit about the when we was asked to go on the overlap earlier this week, so that's up now. We'll have the stat attack and all that type of stuff. Also, quickly, good luck to Poppy again. She got through. They got through to the final. The women's team. They play tomorrow morning. I think it's Saturday against New Zealand in the final. It's playing in Auckland at Eden Park. So good luck to Poppy. Check out her interview with. She's. Not only is she a fantastic rugby player, but she's a hammer as well. So it's all good. Quick look in the chat. See who we got. King Gaz. We'll talk about Moyes and everything in a minute. The Leicester game, his last game, he's done brilliantly for us, but the way we're going to get relegated with a month after to find a replacement who can help him. Oi, Savaloys. All right, Happy Hammerette. Celeb on our screen today. They said they're chasing me for interviews. I said, we don't have to chase. I don't run that fast. We need a total reset after the World Cup. New manager, new fresh ideas. Woo! Others in the chat. Matt's in the chat. Nice to see you. Hammerhead, hope you're well. Question for Yar. Tuchel has only 2 weeks left in England without finding work. Moyes or Tuchel? Well, if you talk to my Chelsea fan, who I know, called him a Champions League Davy Moyes. All just saying. I'd rather have Sanya than Kone, as Kone's poor discipline. Oh yeah, from yesterday. Yeah, we obviously, apparently Manu Kone from Bayern, was it Leverkusen? He's our number one pick, our transfer target. Anyway, so we're going to talk about loads of stuff today. It's Have Your Say Friday, but what we thought we'd do is obviously the most pressing thing is the game tomorrow. Regardless of what happens, we are, whether camp you're in, whatever on the spectrum you're in, whether you are Moyes in or Moyes out, wherever you are, we are playing our last game for the World Cup tomorrow at 3 o'clock kickoff on a Saturday. Enjoy it, because we never really have those. And obviously playing Leicester City away, at home rather, who, interesting enough, has the same goal difference, has the same points as us, but they've scored about twice as many goals as us and conceded twice as many goals as us. But what we thought we'd bring on Jack from the Final Whistle. We've had him on before under a different name, but now he's the Final Whistle. So let's bring in Jackie boy. How are we doing, big boy? You all right?
Yeah, I'm all right, Rusty B. How are you?
I'm all right, man. I'm all right. I'm getting there. Are you from not necessarily from a creator perspective, but as a Leicester fan? Are you excited? Are you hopeful for the break? Are you looking forward to the break from the Premier League from a Leicester perspective?
No. It's come at the wrong time for Leicester to break. I mean, we're on a good run of form, and we wanted that to continue. Now the World Cup's come, and it's just like, oh, we've got to restart again at Boxing Day, and it's just like, nah. But if we said that at the start of the season, in the first 7 games, we'd just slap your hand off the World Cup.
Yeah, I think we're the same, to be honest, mate. I think we're the same, to be fair. I mean, I think it could be our best thing having almost like a break, having almost like a full reset. When you on your phone, you do a Control Delete on your computer or whatever. That I think we need that at West Ham at the moment. Also for the fan base as well. Obviously. And you probably got it, particularly beginning of the season with Leicester, and also during the transfer window as well. There was loads of, selling not bringing players in, all that sort of hoo-ha. and you get sort of a real sort of spectrum of fans. We got fans on here who are Moyes out, anyone but him. We've got fans who are like, yeah, he's done well, but it's time to go. Sort of in the middle. And then we've got fans who are like, no, he's done well. And it must have been the same with you guys with Brendan Rodgers recently.
Yeah, first 7 games weren't great, was it? We got absolutely spanked by Spurs and Brighton away from home. We'd lead games and then we'd throw them away. Do you know what I mean? And then obviously the transfer window, selling Wesley Fofana to Chelsea, and then we brought him Wout fast for £15 million. We didn't really do much transfer business, and then Leicester City fans were on panic mode. Oh, not brought anybody. We haven't got strength in depth in the squad, and it's going to be a failed season. The first 7 games, shocking, dreadful, and the fans wanted Rodgers out. Then we beat Nottingham Forest, went to Bournemouth and lost. We thought after the Forest game, it's a turn the corner. We obviously didn't the game after that, which played Bournemouth, and then we drew to Crystal Palace. Wasn't the greatest game, let's be honest, 0-0. But then we found some form, some great form, and we've got 5 clean sheets in the last 7, which is fantastic. Only losing 1-0 to Man City and 2-1 to Bournemouth. So we've not had a too shabby last 7 games, let's be honest.
Yeah, no, you're right, man. I think actually, you're sort of the microcosm, as you said there, is you've got, you've lost 1-0 to Man City, lost 2-1 to Bournemouth. So it's like literally one end of the table to the other, isn't it? And it's just an indifferent. I mean, we're the same. It's like we had. Let me just drop a name. When I was talking to Gary Neville on Monday, he was saying that basically, he was willing. We probably gave him West Man United the best game they've had this season, or their gaff, and we just couldn't just do it. And then we have like a performance against Crystal Palace the other day, or against Blackburn in the Cup, and it's totally, it's a totally different side. It's been a really frustrating season for us so far, I think. And as you said, until recently, last season 5 or 6 games or so, it was the same for you guys. So I can, it's very much the same boat I think we're in at the moment. But you seem to be on the rise, just as we're sort of, we don't really know what we're doing yet, whether it's dipping, but it's so tight.
Yeah, it's the relegation battle, isn't it?
It's not a relegation battle.
You could be winning 1 minute, Ross, and then you think, oh, we're fantastic, oh, we're away from it. And then when you lose, you're back down there and you're thinking, oh, shit.
It's so close, it's ridiculous. So, I mean, we are 2 points. We're both 2 points off the relegation, but then again, we're 5 points off 10th. And 7 points off a European place. So, it's just... It's weird as well, because obviously this break's happening after sort of 14 games, so we've still got another 24 games on top, so it's not even halfway yet. So it's just bugging everything up, this World Cup. I'm watching the Netflix documentary, the FIFA one, and it's all corrupt. It's all corrupt, mate. It's all about money. It's all about money. So what's the in terms of Leicester, what can we expect from the injury-wise, suspension-wise? How are you looking?
We're looking all right. I think the only one who's going to be missing for Leicester this weekend is James Justin. He got injured against Newport in the week, which were an ACL, which is going to keep him out for most of the rest of the season. Yeah. So, it's one where you thought James Justin were on the fringes of the England squad, because England needed some fullbacks, and James Justin potentially would have been there if he didn't get injured. We had the same scenario before with him. He got injured in the Cup against Brighton, and then that was his chance for England, and that's all blown out of the water again, and now he's got to reset himself again. Wish him a speedy recovery. But Ndidi's back now. Johnny Evans is back, so... We've got a full fit squad, apart from Justin and obviously Bertrand out with knee injury. So we've got a decent squad now who we can pick players from. Yeah.
Shit. Well, that's the thing. It's like, we saw it. We've had this week. This week has been I've said it's not we can't lose tomorrow. That's me. I think we need to get something at the game tomorrow. So, a draw I think is okay. It's not great. We need 3 points, but I think, to be honest, we need something. But you come in on the back of a really good form. We've had 3 games in 6 days, home games, including tomorrow. So we had Palace. We lost the last minute winner. Blackburn, we lost on penalties. They equalised in the last minute of injury time, and then you got this game coming along. So it's the worst timing, I think, in a weird way, because it's always we start playing teams just as they hit a bit of form again. Like United, if we'd played United 3 or 4 weeks beforehand, we'd have probably won that game. But yeah, no, it's. I think from our perspective, I think bar Cornet, who we don't know what the hell's happening with him, we've got a fully fit squad. So we're one player. We don't know where he's. He hurt his knee about 9 games ago, and apparently he was back every other week, but he hasn't come back. So that's where we are. But I think we rested a lot of players for the cup as well. Looking at that cup draw, it's like fucking hell. We should have any half decent team, particularly with City, innit? City and knocking themselves out with Liverpool. It's like, oh god, you look at it, it's so frustrating because like any other team, you look at all the other teams that are in there, it's like, oh my god, unbelievable. But you must be buzzing that Maddison obviously got the nod yesterday, man.
Yeah, fantastic. Maddison's had a great spell with Leicester this season, even though we had a bad start. He's still been our standout player. He's a cracking player, Maddison. When on song, he's unplayable. He fully deserves a call-up. It's the Southgate thing, isn't it? Obviously, this casino story came into it, didn't it? Last time he got pulled up for England. And Southgate, he would never seen again Maddison in an England shirt. But I think you could not sit there and not play him, do you know what I mean? He could not call him up because he's the most top form English player in the league. So, and that's since 2021.
Unfortunately, it don't mean nothing because there was a time when Mark Noble was the best central midfielder, in the league, let alone English. And as I said, I think you're right. As soon as look at Ivor Toney, everything's come out with the betting scandal. He didn't make the squad, and Callum Wilson did.
Not being picked.
Exactly, and you think not just anything, but just for the penalties, surely. But yeah, as soon as any scandal comes along, that's it. They're blacklisted for a while. Yeah. So what's happened? So what's Jarrod Bowen been involved in? No, it's just crap. It's just he hasn't played well this season. That's why. But no, it's true, and I think you've got. We were just going beforehand. You've got quite a few players going in it to the World Cup. So there's a good 7 or so players. I think you reeled off. I think.
Yeah, Daniel Amati, Papi Mendy, Yuri Tillemans, Wout Fass, Timothy Castagno, Danny Ward,
Maddison.
Yeah. Maddison as well, yeah. So there's 7 Leicester players going to the World Cup. So hopefully they don't get injured, though. We need them for after the World Cup. That's
the trouble. That's my issue with the whole thing is it's injuries, and there's been calls to maybe change our manager during the World Cup break. The trouble is half the first team are going to be in the World Cup, so you won't see them until maybe a couple of days before the beginning of the season, beginning of the kickstart, the second sort of 2/3 of the season. And you're right. There's look at someone like City. Pretty much every one of the City players, bar Haaland, will be in the World Cup. If they get injured, if they get knackered, if they go to the final, then it's gonna be. I think you're gonna get some weird results this week, and I think you'll get some weird results Boxing Day and sort of the Christmas period for that exact reason. A bit like sort of when we came in and out of COVID, weren't it? It was like that first sort of week back, those first couple of weeks back. There were some really strange results. As I said, I quite like what Arteta's done. Arteta's moved. He's set up camp in Dubai with the squad that haven't got through to the World Cup. And as soon as they get knocked out, if they're in the World Cup, then they short hop over from Qatar to Dubai. All right for some, innit? All right for some, man.
That's it.
It's crazy, man. Yeah, no, it's I was just looking at the draw. MK Dons away for you guys next round of the Carabao Cup.
Good draw.
Right, that's a great draw. You look at it.
It's all right looking at it. It's like, you know what I mean? These little teams can really surprise you, innit? You know what I mean?
Too right. Blackburn on Wednesday, yeah. So yeah, exactly. NK Dons be up for it as well. That'd be a
We
good
got
game.
too complacent with this one and say, "Oh, it's going to be an absolute hammering," because you don't know what's around the corner with these teams. They're full of surprises, isn't it? Like the FA Cup, the magic of the cup. Anyone can beat anybody on their day.
That's true. That's true. Like, I think the issue. Because obviously was it everyone apart from every London club apart from Charlton have been knocked out.
Yeah.
So pretty much it's going to be a non-London team will win the Carabao Cup this year. But the trouble is, with the likes of Spurs, Arsenal, Chelsea, all them being knocked out, when it comes around to January with the FA Cup, I reckon a lot of them are going to be taking it a lot seriously because actually they're not going to win the Premier League. So, if they want to win silverware, it's the FA Cup, which means it's going to be even harder to win the FA Cup. So, for you guys to get into Europe again next year, maybe, obviously after last year in the conference, this is your best bet, isn't it? Particularly with City and Liverpool knocking each one of them out as well. And, yeah, I mean, you're probably I reckon you're third, maybe fourth favourite looking at that. Because whoever wins out of City and Liverpool will be favourite. Man United, Newcastle, then you, I reckon.
Who knows? I don't look at the odds. Do you know what I mean? I just take it cup game by cup game. You can't look too ahead. You can't underestimate any opponent in any competition, Ross. The big teams, they're expected to win trophies, aren't they, every year? Yeah. But then you've got teams like Leicester and Newcastle who could surprise it this season and potentially win a trophy between them. Spurs, they'll look at Europe. Man United, they'll look at Europe as well. Chelsea, Man City, Liverpool, they'll look at Champions League. Obviously, Man City will want to fight Arsenal for the Premier League title, won't they? To be honest, so I'm expecting the bigger teams to make changes again for the cup game in the Carabao Cup. So it could be an interesting one to see who's going to be in it next after the next round. Because if Man City lose to Liverpool, it's going to be open, isn't it?
Oh, definitely.
Anyone's win.
Definitely, and the way Liverpool are playing, they're so temperamental. You don't know what team's going to turn up. And obviously, and if you win that, you go back into the conference after, last year's little conference. Well, not little. You got through to the semis, didn't you? Last year,
drama.
Good fun. Yeah, I mean, same as us, isn't it? We got through to the same. Although we did make history by being the first team ever to win all their conference games in their group ever. Although it's only been going around for a year and a half, but don't matter. But we'll take it when it comes. But obviously, you're obviously we haven't been in Europe for a long time, and last year we had our little European tour, which was lovely, and doing it again this year. I know you went to a lot of the away games as well. You enjoyed your time in Europe, and that's what it's about, isn't it? Teams like West Ham and Leicester, every so often a good Europe run, get out, see a bit of sun on your legs, and see us play in some different places.
Yeah, I think it's just about enjoying going to watch your team, enjoying touring the cities and all that, because you don't get it every week.
No,
you're used to touring Old Trafford and Liverpool, and you don't get to go out to Spain and Portugal and places like that. And then you play teams you've never even either heard of or you'd look forward to playing. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, it's good. It's fantastic.
It is good.
Great experience.
It's a great. As I said, I think the likes of City and Liverpool and these guys who are playing in Europe every year. I think they become a little bit blasé to it. And whereas we really enjoyed it. I know you guys really enjoyed your sort of European vacation, so to speak, last season. For us, that was the first time for many, 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 many years. So, they really, really took it to heart. And obviously this year, even more so. I mean, they took out, we took about 3,000 to Bucharest in a game which we didn't need to win. We'd already qualified. We'd already won the group and, for a dead rubber. And by all accounts, it was probably one of the best away games ever, just from an experience perspective. And that's what it's about. That's what football's about. It's about experiences. We apart from yourselves winning the Premier League, teams like us don't usually, aren't usually up in the upper echelons. I know you were there, Happy Hammer. I know you were there. Well done. It's just nice. It's just nice to, and hopefully, well, we'll see what happens in the conference. I think we're a bit fortunate where last year you had so many big clubs dropped in. Like, as you said, that last four that you were in, if you compared to the final four in the conference to the final four in the Europa League, I think your final four was stronger. in terms of teams. You had, I mean, Roma, PSV, you had some good teams there. You know, we had us and Rangers. No disrespect to us, but we're not. You know, our European. Haven't got any European pedigree. Even Eintracht Frankfurt ended up winning it. No real European pedigree, yeah. But no, it's all good, man. What's your thoughts about tomorrow, man? I know you're travelling down.
It's a difficult game. We didn't win there last year. We got absolutely battered after Perez got a red card. Mikel Antonio rolled in up his cardboard of himself, spinning it around. You know what I mean?
Fair. Yeah.
He dominated us last year, Mikel Antonio, and then we've not won at West Ham, have we, since Damari Gray scored in the 2-1 win. So it's a difficult place, West Ham. It always has been for Leicester. So I'm not expecting an easy game. I think you lot need to a kick up the arse sort of thing. They'll need to prove themselves tomorrow against Leicester that they are capable of turning things around, and if things don't turn around, then the fans are back on Moyes' back again, aren't they? Even stronger than before. So it's one of them. Well,
I think for a lot of people, it's the fight. It's a lot of people from a West Ham perspective have seen it as last chance saloon, that type of thing. I mean, and so I totally and myself and At, we're quite similar in how we think about it all. We totally get that. We totally understand, because actually, we've had 2 years of relative success for West Ham, really. Finishing qualifying for Europe in our league position consecutive seasons for the first time ever in our history.
That shows ambition, though, isn't it?
It does. I think it's expectation, isn't it? It's expectations
now. Yeah, when you start making Europe games, you want to be there every year and not
exactly. You're thinking, why aren't we? Why aren't we here this year? And it's and actually going out and spending, close to 200 million. I think it's about 180 million all in over the summer. That tweaks up that. If the expectation was at a 6, you've turned it up to at least an 8 now, and 9, because you spent so much money. And we've done that before. We did it with Pellegrini. We got Pellegrini in and we gave him loads of money. And so from being just missing out, staying up in the previous season, the expectation was higher. And then if we're at an 8 and the team's at a 4, that's when there's issues. And it's the same again with West Ham, unfortunately, at the moment. It's I think if we go 1-0 down, it's going to be a very, very hostile atmosphere. So that's basically what Rodgers is going to say. Get at them, get an early goal, and the fans will turn at them, because I think we will. Unfortunately.
Yeah, you lot used to be good at set pieces, didn't you?
We're shocking. We're shocking.
You know what I mean? We used to concede fair against you lot from set pieces. I think tomorrow's game, Leicester's going to go there. They're on good form. Tillemans, he's capable of another banger, surely. If West Ham give him that room around the area, he's going to take one on. But I think with Leicester, Maddison, he's got another game to prove himself to go with Southgate ahead of the World Cup. Jamie Vardy loves the goal against West Ham. But yeah, the likes of Harvey Barnes, and that Barnes scored his first ever Premier League goal against West Ham United. So it's a difficult game, Ross. It's who's going to win that midfield battle as well. I mean, Wout Fass is going to be on Mikel Antonio tomorrow if he plays. It's going to be two big men against each other, and they're going to battle it out.
It'll be interesting to see, because I think we're probably more likely to start with Skamaka up front, and so because
he's on the wing.
Yeah. So basically, we'll have pretty much our. Let's see if I can do it. We'll do it live. Let's do it live. This is how I think we're gonna set up. Where is it? So I think this is what we do. So if I present my screen, so I think we'll end up going with. So I reckon we'll end up going with we'll have him in goal, Fabianski in goal. He's like our so Fabianski's in essence our Premier League goalkeeper, whereas Areola at the moment is our cup goalkeeper. And then we'll have Tilo Kiro, just been called up for the German side. He's sort of Germany's right back. We'll have the man with it. We have Aaron Cress. We'll probably play back 4. We'll have now this. We could play Zuma and Dawson, which may be one option, or we may well play Zuma with Agerd, that's basically our first. That will be our first choice back for after the
Yeah.
World Cup. But Aguirre's coming just back from injury, so that could happen. And then I reckon they'll play, and that's what's going to be interesting. I think the likes of Declan Rice, and Maddison. This is the last game before they go to the World Cup. I think you're going to see a lot of players 50-50 challenges. Maybe the less professional players. Not putting 100% in, I reckon, on Saturday this week. I reckon that's not saying with West Ham players, but I'm just saying that across the board. And then we'll have Lucas Paqueta. Then we'll have Bowen, who'll have a point to prove. I hope we'll have Benny on the other side, and then start with Scarmacker. I think so. That's how we'll start. That's how we'll start. I reckon
4-2-3-1.
Yeah, that's basically when we've got the players. That's what when we're playing in Europe, we play 3 at the back, but I think we'll play 4-3-2-1 or 4-2-3-1. Yeah. So although Paqueta likes to drop in the middle and just does everything because that's what he does, and then if he doesn't work out half time, last couple of games at half time they've taken Scarmacker off and thrown Antonio on, and just to mix it up a little bit. So. Yeah, no, I think that's going to be good, man. We'll see. I'm not too sure.
I can't see us making changes, to be honest. I think we'll go with the same back four, Wout Faes, Marty, Castagno. Obviously, Luke Thomas is going to come in now for James Justin, Danny Ward. But then we could play a 3 at the back with Johnny Evans, Wout Faes and Marty. And then Dewsbury Hall, Samore, Maddison, Tillemans, Barnes, Patson Daka. Oh, is Soyunchu's injured as well.
Okay.
I believe he's out. So,
all right, that's something. That's something. But anyway, as I said, make sure you check out the final whistle. I'll be on there later on. Probably doing exactly the same thing now, but from a Leicester perspective. But anyway, and I wish you all the best after tomorrow. That's the line. That's the line we always say in it. I wish you all the best after tomorrow, and hopefully you come back and Maddison has a great World Cup and comes back, and because he's the type of player who I think we always have every tournament we have one player who everyone wants to see. So like the World Cup. The Euros, it was always Grealish, wasn't it? Grealish was on the bench. Bring him on. And I think Maddison could be our player this year, which would be great for you guys as well. Great profile for Leicester as well.
Yeah, wish you all the best after tomorrow, Ross. And I'm going to go for a 2-0 Leicester win.
Oh, there we go. I don't know. Do you know what? I think it's going to be a 2-2 draw. I don't want it to be, but I think it's going to be 2-2.
I believe that happened one time when Antonio scored and you had that new carpet put in and he was rubbing the carpet.
Oh, it's still there. Still there, mate. Still there. It's looking good.
Harvey Barnes scored.
Yeah, still there, man. Still there. All right then, bud. Well, I'll speak to you later on, man.
All the best, mate.
Go on, let you go, man. Take care, man. Bye. There he is. Good old Jack from the Final Whistle. Check him out on YouTube. He wasn't a previous one, but he's doing his own thing now. So let's go for some comments, and then we'll open up the lines. Who we got here? I see we got Happy Paul. We'll come back to his comment in a minute. Pardon me. Yes, disagree with such a large squad overall. I don't think it's fair to say the expectation is higher. The season is needed to adjust. Oh, that's what I think. But I don't think it's the same. I totally agree. I think I'm not talking from my perspective at all. I totally agree with what you're saying there. I think actually with bringing in 8 players, you can't expect them to just go to like that. But I think some people have. Some people do, and that's fair enough because it does raise expectations when you spend a lot of money. I know what you mean. We don't want another Burnley incident. We certainly don't. Must win for me. Win, lose or draw. Moyes must be sacked on Monday. Reset for the World Cup must happen. Minus Moyes. We return after the break to lose more games. Sadly, I knew from the offside that we'd be far from contending for Europe. Yes, I'm surprised this shakes up, but no way we were vying for Europe this year. Not considering. No, you're totally right. Go back and watch the video we did. I did the clip from the overlap. Jamie Carragher makes a really good point about Moyes. Well, I think he does. In terms of his tenure at Everton, he had some good years, and there was always 1 year, or where there was a blip and they finished 12th, and then they rebuilt. And I think this is that year for us. But I totally get. you know, and that's the thing. I was talking to a guy the other day, and they called him toxic, and I was like, I understand why you're saying that, but for me, it's like, I just don't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe I just don't feel that way about it all. I understand totally, and there is a divide. There's definitely a Moyes in and a Moyes out camp, and there's shades of grey because there's not people who are definitely all in, definitely all out. There's there's people who go, well, if he changed his ways and played more attacking football, that's great. And some guys went, no, I want attacking football. I want Bielsa. And it's like, well, then you'll be playing attacking football in the Championship. You happy with that? Yeah. And then some people will be like, I want anyone but him in the dugout. It's like, well, okay, well, then you end up with Sean Dyche or Big Fat Sam. People go, yeah, okay, maybe not. So there's loads of permutations. Star fans gone for a 2-0. When push comes to shove, I back our team. Come on, you Irons. Thanks, Rob. There's Happy Paul. West Ham are crap, Boeing crap. Right, Rice crap. Rice isn't crap. Come on, Paul. Happy probably unlikely. No, I don't think he will play. Moyes really should not be sacked. If he does, then we may well be truly in a relegation scap. The ironic thing is, the position we're in, we need someone like Moyes to get us out of it. And that's the trouble. But the thing is, we've got a lot of creative players now. So I can and that's the thing. It's like people think someone called me a Moyes sycophant. No, it's not. I've called. I really think that sometimes it's about progression. For us, progression is, this is the longest. I think it's the longest period where we've been not in the Premier. We've been in the top flight. We haven't been relegated. That is progression. Europe in 2 years in a row. That's progression. There will necessarily be a backward step to go forward. 2 steps forward and 1 step forward and 2 steps opposite. Whatever that song is. But you know what I mean. Rodgers and every other manager knows best form is attack. Yep, too right. I understand that. And people know. People found this out. If we go out the traps early doors, that would shock them because we don't do that. Leicester will just put the ball in behind Dawson and run if Dawson plays. Yeah, I totally agree. This is exactly what's wrong with the modern football day. The second thing starts looking shaky. Fans in the clubs are pairs to a complete 180, and fans will do. End of the day, if we had social media, Alex Ferguson probably wouldn't be in charge of Man United anymore. Or not anymore, but, because obviously he was one game away from being, sacked. And I think if there was a grand swell of opinion from Man United fans and there was social media and Twitter, he may have been sacked and they wouldn't have had that prolonged, 20-year period of success. Russ, question, do you think we've always said that, sorry. Exhibit 8, totally agree. West Ham get battered everywhere they go. Swap down, I don't think it's going to happen, unfortunately. This has been happening since Jan this year, only 11 wins since it fell on knee jock, no, just realism. Yep, fair play. I understand the minority fans who are still cautiously optimistic, but I just don't think there's such pessimism and cynicism is the way forward. Yeah, I agree. I bet that too. Let me just, sorry, Mrs. Bunge. There we go. Sorry about that. Olas, what we got here? I'll take a draw if the foot was good and didn't include Souček. Well, I think you get one of the wishes. Then we get 2 wishes. He's such a better tactician, so that gives Leicester the edge during the match with subs. Newcastle prove you can integrate new players quickly. Yep, true, Phil. True. Yeah, I mean they haven't bought like. A lot of their players have come in. So, like, Sven Botman's come in. Bruno was around. Almiron's improved. They haven't done, like, a widespread change. And I think the types of players we brought in, realistically should have, it should have completely changed the starting lineup. And it hasn't. So people know what our lineup's going to be, which is unfortunate. Moyes is still is in for me. Credit in the bank is still there. Look, at the end of the day, whoever is in the dugout for West Ham gets. When I listen to people going, "I'd rather us lose, so we get rid of him," I was like, "Well, how's that? That's cutting off your nose to spite your face, isn't it?" I totally get it. I totally understand you don't like him, but I would never wish West Ham to lose a match. West Ham's it's not whoever's in the dugout gets my support, whether it's Avram Grant, whether it's they get my support because they're in the dugout. And same as whoever's on the pitch. I might not want them to play Radislav Kovac or someone like that. But for me, it's about West Ham. And it's whoever pulls on those shirts, whoever's in that dugout gets my full support. It's not been a sycophant. Whoever, if they do decide, if it's decided that it's time for him to move on and they bring someone else, they get my full support. If it's Big Sam, if it's Sean Dyche, I don't care. Because actually, for me, it's about who's managing West Ham and who's playing on the pitch. And to be honest, we would all do we'd change our whole lives to do what they were doing, so they always get my respect, whether they've made one appearance at West Ham or they've made 799. They've done something which young Russie, as a young whippersnapper, would have died to do once. And so I don't sign up to that idea that you'd rather lose just to get rid of him. It's like, I don't get it. I don't really understand it. House is a better manager, and they spent less. Yeah, it's a very good point. Change of tactics, really go for it for the final whistle. Show some balls, may finally click. Someone asked Everton fans on Twitter if they would sack him. 60-40 against, said it was okay if you want negative football, but safe football. And to be honest, Ralph, I'm sort of okay with... I don't want to be a yo-yo club. I don't want to be up and down. I want to have some, I want to have some good seasons. And I'm not assuming every season we're going to be in Europe, but I don't want to look behind me. I want to be on the first page of the BBC website. I don't want to be having to go up and down, and I know some people like that, like the fact that when they have a championship season because there's something to play for, and I get that. But the thing is, the game now is changed now, unfortunately, and that's not about anyone's criticism apart from the fact of money. Money is now in the game where, if you want good players, if you want to get academy players coming through, and, if you want to improve the squad and the facilities, then you've got to be in the Premier League first and foremost. And that's where we need to be. Afternoon GP, hope you're well. Hey, mine's still there. Are you pissed off? No, I'm all right. I'm fine today. Flirting with relegation with Everton 1 season, exactly. Then finished 4th in the playoffs. Then cost because of winning champs. I'm defending Moyes to the hilt. Ken, I'm in your bag, man. I'm in the same bag as you. Even if we finish 13th, 14th, 15th, 17th, I don't think we'll finish 17th. I think we'll finish in the sort of 10 to 13, someone in there I think will end up finishing. Anywhere above that, I think it's been another good season. And it is, in retrospect. The fact is, you've still got the greedy 6. Newcastle now are investing in that. They'll be in that group now. So it's difficult. It's difficult to break in. Last year was the best opportunity for us to ever, I think, to get Champions League football. And we blew it, really. We did, because we didn't invest. We invested in the wrong time. We invested in the summer rather than that January. But hindsight's a great thing. It certainly is. As West Ham fans, we always feel like we're one step from perfection, but I'm losing faith. Maybe just sit tight with Moyes. Where has our scoring for fun team gone? Creating lots of chances, but not scoring. We're still creating chances, not scoring. But also, I don't think our tactics have really changed much. And I think that's the issue for some people. I call it the Thomas Souček effect. Thomas Souček has always been the same player. He hasn't changed, apart from scoring. He hasn't scored as many goals. And I think when you're winning, when you're scoring goals, they don't look at, we were making lots of chances and we were scoring 1, but we were making 5 or 6 chances and scoring 1. And so we're not scoring that 1 goal or those 2 goals now. So actually, we're still doing the same things. And that's the trouble. We are rinsing and repeating. And people have found us out a little bit. They found Thomas Souček's run. So Thomas has had to stop making so many forward runs, which he never really did even at Slavia Prague, to be honest. It was almost like a surprise that he getting in these positions. When you're winning, things change. And I think that's what happened. Newcastle's a perfect example. Money spent, coaching, belief, direction. And it didn't start. And Newcastle didn't start great in the season. Helen feels like Skamakis I don't think so. Russ, I agree with what you say. It's just a start. Yeah, no, I totally agree. Clapham Boots earlier, 2-3 people wanting Moyes to lose. That's their prerogative, aren't they? Are you Moyes out? Surely everyone is. No, Mo, I don't think everyone is, mate. I don't think everyone is. If everyone is, he would be out. So not everyone is Moyes out. There's a spectrum. I'm very much on the not out spectrum, if that makes sense. You should never want your team to lose. I totally agree. Get rid of Moyes. He only did okay because of the coaches around him now. He's clueless with Nolan and the other bloke. God knows what he does. Get Rafa Benitez in on a short contract. Oh my God! If we go down, we won't back because of the surroundings of the stadium. It won't help us, and we only get 30,000 max in the stadium. Last season, Bowen were scoring loads. They're not now scoring. You're totally right, and he's not, and we're not. And I think that's a massive issue. I think Antonio's probably goal-wise is... I haven't checked how many goals he scored now to where he was last season, but I reckon they're similar, but it's the rest of the team. Not that the goals were coming from the striker. They were coming from... Thomas Souček would get 10 goals. Bowen, you'd get... Declan Rice has only just scored his first goal. I think Souček only scored 2 goals. Corners have been a massive issue for us as well. And it's just not clicking. It hasn't been clicking. GP, are you okay, mate? Is one of the best strikers. We couldn't play to his strength. I totally agree. Personally, I think he should stay until the end of the season to see how things go. Personally, Pete, from my own personal perspective, I totally agree. But I understand people want him out. I had a very good conversation the other day with another YouTuber person, and they are steadfast, and I respect that. And they've always been steadfast. They've always been that, and they haven't changed. I've never changed my view either. So it was quite nice. We were like butting heads, but in a respectful manner. Although he did call me a rude word, but that was fair enough. Maybe I was winding him up a bit too much. But it was just, he was saying his point, I was countering it. I was saying my point, he was countering it. And there is no right answer. There is no right answer. Russ, what time? I don't know yet, mate. My bad. I didn't mean smack. I mean Haller. There we go. I go to all the home games. I can't believe fans are still supporting Moyes with the squad. That squad is not suiting to Moyes' tactics. And that's what I mean. Rob's clearly on one side of the... And I think the trouble is, spending money on some really good players could be his downfall at the end of the day. That could happen, and Rob is same with me. Rob, I go to all the home games as well. But I went obviously again slightly different. But I went to all the games in COVID, and actually I know that team he brought that through there. In terms of team spirit, is one of the best teams I've seen since I started to support West Ham in the early 90s. It was fantastic. The team spirit, we've lost that, and I think part of that reason is Mark Noble. Honestly, you look at the other times we had a really good team spirit. I'd say under Big Sam, we had a really good team spirit. Kevin Nolan. Slav had a really good team spirit for that season. Mark Noble, he was the captain. We haven't got that now. And I think maybe when Noble's coming in, might make a difference. But, Rob, I appreciate... I totally get where you're coming from. I totally get it. You pay your money, you want to be entertained. I totally understand. I think there has to be some sort of balance between success and... and I know there's teams like Brighton who play really well, good football, but they sometimes are teetering around, the relegation spots. I'm not happy to do that. I'd rather have some relative stability. But again, it is what it is. Everyone has different opinions. Good afternoon. Haller is a top player and some top. Some Lucas must have played right there, not flops. They are really good, amazing strikers. I hope this time is not a waste of time. Even Tom Davies is Moyes out. There we go, Mo. I'm not. Yet. Could change. But at the moment, for me, I'm a great advocate of the expression "bet the devil you know." The grass isn't green. We tried it. Don't forget before. I go back to the whole thing with Slav. Got rid of Slav. It didn't work. The first season, I don't think he was a particularly good tactician. That season at the Bowling was fantastic, but I think you'd always have a good season. We had Payet at his pomp and various others, and then the wheels fell off when he tried to, in the first season back at London Stadium, brought Moyes in, steady the ship. Then we thought, okay, we don't want Moyes. We want this Premier League winning manager. We want to give him all this money. It didn't work. So we went back to Moyes. So it's like, that you're going to get... Don't know what I'm doing this. Where can I find a video? I put up a thing of it. It's like a vlog, but it's in there. The clip's in there this morning, so check it out. Russell, I respect your opinion, but what would it take for you to say enough is enough? If we get embarrassed by Leicester, I don't think you are that far off it. I don't think anyone is. Paul. There will be a point in time where everyone will be, well, not everyone will be one way or the other, because I think there will always be people who are one way and always one way or the other. I'm a realist as well. Football is a results-based business now. And if the results aren't coming in, people have looked at Pellegrini and Moyes' tenure at the moment in terms of when we sacked Pellegrini, and we're 2 points worse off. But then Pellegrini was given 5 games to win. So, then he was sacked. So it's a result-based business. We don't make the decision. We don't make the decision. So for me, whoever is in the dugout gets my full support, regardless of who it is, and that's the way I've always been. If Perish thought he takes us down, how many would be Moyes in? Probably none, Andy. Then Moyes under pressure, indeed. Are you doing well, mate? Good luck with Lopetegui. Good manager. We ain't getting Poch or Tuchel. Who's left? Yeah, that's what I mean. You'll get Deitch or Benitez. Right, I'm going to have to go, guys. As I said, thank you so much for your time. I'm really, really sorry I'm going to have to shoot. But take care, everyone. Stay safe. Make sure you watch the thing later on. We'll have the press conference. And go and check out the final whistle with Jack later on. Take care, my friends. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
It's like a family tree, all of you.